and welcome back to Speedrun Ragnarok, presented by the RPG Valkyries. Before we get up to our next run here, I'm going to read off a couple of quick donations. A thank you to the $19 anonymous donation. Anonymous always fuels these marathons better than you could imagine, so we always appreciate that. And Zeju, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, but Zejutu with the $5 donation. Can we choose which Valkyrie will learn Elf? If so, I vote for the one whose birth is closest to the start of the Elf TV series. I'll make sure Scala gets on that immediately. Just want to update a couple of quick incentives that are coming up and what's coming up later. After this next run is going to be the Take This discussion segment with Dr. Rachel Cowarts, and she is going to be answering some viewer questions. There is hopefully a bot command here. We can type in a second for the Twitter access. If you would like, thank you, Dravenheart. If you would like to ask a question about the final psychology of the Final Fantasy series, click on that link and ask your questions, and you may hear it tonight. Right now, the big thing we're looking for is Naple Tal, Arcia, and Daydream. Right now, doesn't have any donations for the upgrade to all songs %, so we're looking for a little bit of love there if you're looking to put some donations towards something. Other than that, I'm going to hand this off now to our next runner, Raelcun with Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. Enjoy the next run.
Hi, I'm Raelcun. I've got a Gramilios here with me, and he's going to be doing the heavy lifting on commentary because some of this takes a lot of focus, and he was kind enough to volunteer his time to help explain things to you. Just a quick overview, we're playing on the lowest difficulty because we're going to be circumventing all combat, and the one instance where we need to do damage with clever game mechanics, higher difficulty, just means that enemy has more health. So we're playing on Explorer mode, and I've got the character creation window up here right now, so we can explain everything we've got set. But I'm going to hand things over to Grim, because he's going to be taking the reins in commentary.
Yeah. So if you've never seen this game before, like me, for example, I've never played it, although I have watched it. This game is noteworthy for a number of reasons, partially that you have two characters, although one of them's kind of hidden right now. To quickly run through the stats, I do have these written down. This game is largely based on D&D. The two characters are going to be starting as Ranger in order to give them access to fire arrows, although their build is more like a rogue. Next, and Raelcun, by the way, already has all these stats set up just for convenience. We're just going to run through them quickly. 8 dexterity means that the characters will never miscast on dex-based spells, those spells being haste and stealth, which do about what you would expect. And finally, both characters have telekinesis, which lets you pick up and move objects. That's going to be used for a very powerful glitch that you'll see in not very long. It's a pretty short run. It's a cool glitch, though. Did I miss anything here on character creation?
Speed is allocated for all the rest of the points, just because that actually makes them run faster. And they both have lockpicking in case I make a silly mistake.
Yeah, but with that, I think we're about ready to start the run. So, Raelcun, would you prefer I give the countdown?
I'm not sure which works best because of the delay. So I'll just give a countdown, and then our lovely restreamer can hit the timer whenever it appears appropriate on their side. So 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so as we start the game here, this game, as I said, is very much designed for co-op, although you can play it single player. You can swap characters using F1 and F2. So one of the first things that Raelcun is going to be doing is splitting the characters apart from each other. That's not going to happen instantaneously. First, they have to avoid a combat encounter with some cultists using that stealth spell I mentioned during character creation. It'll work about as you expect. You'll see the characters kind of turn blue and transparent. And as they move past is where the split off occurs. One character is going to go into a temple through a big ominous looking door in order to grab a lockpick, because we do have to pick a lock very shortly and the characters don't start with one. There's the cultists, and you'll see the door. So while one character is going into the temple, the other is going to move towards the city. That's how we're going to get into the city. We're going to lockpick a door. The character in the dungeon is going to move down and grab the lockpick, as we said. The other character is shortly going to come up to 2 NPCs, 2 drunks that are blocking access to a bridge. And getting past them, you don't have to fight them or anything. You just smash through some dialogue options, and Raelcun already knows what they are. You just smash through, and there you go. Meanwhile, while this second character grabs the lockpick, this game has a very nice feature called dimensional pockets, or at least that's what I'll be calling it, dimensional pockets, which means that when one character picks up a lockpick, it can be magically transported to the other character's pockets, allowing them to lockpick and get into the city. And the reason that the character's getting into the city is an early form of XP. So this game has waypoints that you can teleport to, but right now we don't have the ability to teleport to waypoints. That gets unlocked later by progression. So instead, Raelcun again is going to use stealth to get past a bunch of these orcs, because combat encounters are dangerous and slow. And by entering the city is going to, in short order, unlock the first waypoint. Now, even with that waypoint unlocked, you still can't teleport to it, but what the second character can do, the one that went into the dungeon to get the lockpick, they can engage in a combat encounter using the fire arrow, here it comes, and then flee from battle, which ports you to the last waypoint you unlocked, or at least in this case it will teleport to the waypoint you want. And the reason we're doing this is that there's a ship that's on fire. This same character that picked up a lockpick also picked up a rain scroll on the beach near the start of the game. We're going to use it to put out the fire and get a big chunk of early experience. In this run, in a normal any percent, like if you were going for world record grinding, you would only go up to level 3, but for marathon safety, Raelcun's going to be hitting level 4 on these characters. And the reason we need to hit level 4 is based on RNG damage we're going to deal at the end of the run, that we'll get to a little later. But first, like I said, you use that rain scroll, you get that XP. And with that out of the way, Raelcun is actually intelligently queuing up some actions in advance, or is about to queue up some actions in advance. Casting the scroll locks the characters from casting new actions.
That wasn't an issue this time. I misclicked in the void, so the one character wasn't moving.
Well, we made it inside now, that's what matters. So now, something very strange is going to happen. In classic RPG fashion, it turns out, shocker, that we are the chosen one, and we have to save all of creation.
I don't know what
A very original plot as fantasy games go. I think we got teleported to the end of time. As you would expect in a speedrun of a game that is normally very long but is very short in this case, we won't be seeing much of the story. The important thing here is that we're going to be given access to a very important item called a teleportation pyramid. Actually, both characters get one. And the idea behind these pyramids is that, remember, this is meant to be a co-op game. They let the two characters teleport to each other in order to coordinate on combat and such. But if you recall one of the spells we took back at the character creation screen, was telekinesis. And these teleport pyramids are still items that you can pick up and throw just like anything else. And you may be putting the pieces together in your head. We can use telekinesis in combination with these pyramids in order to perform a very, very powerful glitch that I'll just be referring to probably as the teleportation glitch. So there we go. What you'll see here in a minute, you can place this pyramid down. We just have to do a little bit of dialogue mashing first.
In the end, now
when Raelcun picks up the pyramid, normally there's a limit to how far you can move it. It's restricted based on distance and terrain and such, so if it has a white outline, you can place it in a valid location. If it's red, you can't. However, if the pyramid is currently on a valid location with a white outline and you right-click, you can do this and just start scrolling through the void forever, which lets you place the pyramid somewhere else and teleport really, really far away. Now, this is effectively blind, but if you look up in the top right, there are X, Y coordinates underneath the minimap, and that's what Raelcun is using to navigate and get through the world. Our first task, as we come through here, is to pick up an item, and the item is not maybe something you would expect to pick up in an RPG. It's actually a trap chest. It's a chest that when you touch it is meant to explode into a bunch of lava and almost certainly kill you based on how much damage it deals, but we can pick it up and put it in our inventory instead. Believe it or not, this trap chest is going to be what we use to kill the final boss, and it's also the reason why it's very important that Raelcun gets up to level 4. Because the damage dealt by this chest when it's broken it's RNG and it's kind of based on levels. We'll touch on that again later. The point is we're going to be using it for a damage dealer. With that out of the way, the run is just moving along very, very quickly. We're going to go and start up a quest where we talk to a well. This is a very unusual quest, and I would be lying to say that I fully understand it, but the well is cursed, or maybe the well's brother is cursed. It's kind of odd. You get teleported here into Act 3, which is meant to be a teaser area because the castle courtyard we're in is enclosed, but as you can see, we're going to be using the same pyramid teleportation glitch to just glitch out of bounds and go actually to the treasure room after the final boss, where we're going to grab an item that we need to finish the well's quest. which is going to net a whole bunch of experience. I think it breaks the curse or whatever. And we also just get some experience, by the way, for discovery. Here's the treasure room. There's the item. So we get experience for discovering, and we're going to get experience for both starting the Well's quest and for finishing it. So with that out of the way, here we are, talk to the well, fix its curse, or whatever you do to a well. That's a quest target in an RPG like this. The well is going to teleport back to Act 1, and we are actually going to follow there in order to go and finish the quest by speaking to the well one more time. I've said this several times now, but just to reiterate, we're trying to get up to level 4, and with all of this experience, we're not going to get to level 4, but we're very close. And as it happens, this well, the location where you finish the quest, happens to be very close to a cathedral, which is near the end of Act 1. So as Raelcun finishes this up, he is going to, again, do this pyramid glitch, go inside, ideally to a side room, and then we just have to wait for... There's the trapdoor leading us inside. We just have to wait for some NPCs to move around a little bit, which is going to net us the last little bit of experience, with a sound cue indicating that Raelcun got up to level 4, and just like that, we're on to the end of time. Normally in this area, there are invisible walls preventing you from scrolling the camera very far, but by placing the pyramid out of bounds in a careful way, we can glitch the characters out of bounds, and here we are. So we're very quickly coming up to the final boss. This would be the time to lower the game audio a little bit, because the final dragon is pretty loud when it swoops in. So, on to that final dragon. Raelcun is going to be talking to an NPC who is not a dragon, but will spawn a dragon or becomes a dragon. It's an RPG, weird things like that can happen. One character is going to stealth in order to take themselves out of the turn order, while also placing a chest where the dragon is going to swoop in. Raelcun is going to make a quick save just in case, because this is based on RNG. Breaking this chest with a fire arrow, which you'll see in just a moment, is going to deal between 5,000 and 11,000 damage. And we need on the high end of 7,000. It's roughly 7,900 to kill it. May or may not work on the first attempt. Looks like it didn't work on the... Sorry, go ahead.
Didn't work. Didn't even take damage.
Didn't work.
Timed it.
But that's why we make the quick save. What you should be looking for here, by the way, are orange damage numbers on the boss. Did that work? I couldn't see how much damage was dealt.
It did, about 9,600.
Sweet, okay, so that's what we need. That's why we hit level 4. You can do this run at level 3, but you would end up having to reload the save a lot more unless you get really lucky. So for marathon safety, we hit level 4. With the dragon down, we're now on the epilogue with a bunch of dialogue and story stuff, which is completely irrelevant to the speedrun. We do the teleportation glitch one more time, up to the end, and time is coming up very shortly.
I forgot to link them. 1 second. I have to hand the teleport pyramid to the one. There we go, and then she can walk off.
Raelcun, I'm going to let you call out time because you know the queue better than I do.
It's after the dialogue closes while talking to the goblins is time. So there it is.
GG. Divinity, Original Sin, Enhanced Edition, casually a very long game, 80%, a very short game. Well done.
What was my time? That's close to a PB. Let me check. On the marathon route, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say we've done a handful of practice ones. That went very smoothly. I thought anyway.
I'm checking to see if that was actually a personal best. Let me...
The coveted marathon PB?
No, it's not. Okay, we're good.
Still a good run, though. Well done.
Thanks for helping out on the commentary, Grim. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Just want to say, everyone, be kind to yourself. You are valuable. Saying nice things to yourself about yourself takes practice sometimes. So just take a little time out of your day just to be a little bit nice to yourself. And hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon.
And thank you very much to Raelcun for that very, very speedy Divinity Original Sin